Our project on Jharkhand Mobile Radio. So you heard the CGNet Swara presentation, and the whole project was really inspired by them. They're really the pioneers in this whole novel concept of using IVR to source information from the bottom of the pyramid. We've approached this whole thing from a more community radio perspective, where the information is more broad-based. So the system is very similar technically, that people call into a number and they can leave a message or listen to messages there by other people. The kind of information that we are soliciting on the platform is broadly of four kinds. It ranges from feedback on government schemes that people want to provide, and which through our network of partners which I talked about, we try to convey to government officials. The next is that we try to help people find information on agricultural health policies and best practices. So if somebody calls in and leaves the problem, then we try to get it answered by connecting with a network of resource partner NGOs, which we're trying to identify in Jharkhand. A third vertical is on local updates and announcements, so things like a local job fair that is happening or some local youth event that is happening, that gets publicized to the system. So again, keep in mind that these are all media dark areas, so there's really no local media in these regions. So a voice-based system becomes very accessible to poorly literate populations. And a fourth vertical is on culture and entertainment, where like the audio that Arjun played for all of us, people leave folk songs. Lately we've also started running a poetry competition for school children. So it's bringing in a lot of audience, a lot of listenership. So we're right now touching a very steady around 1,000 calls per day on this system. And this is again through no publicity really, most of it is really through word of mouth, and the information is very broad. And all of this is thanks to a lot of partners that we are working with on the ground. So these are all NGOs who either want to work in Jharkhand or who are already working in Jharkhand on different verticals, on agriculture, on Panchayati Raj issues, on education, livelihood, and we're continuously trying to add more and more partners into the system. The on-ground publicity and mobilization happens through a lot of physical movement. So this is really where technology does not play a role. So word of mouth publicity, holding workshops, attending meetings with NGO partners, participating in Gram Sabha discussions. So all of these venues are used to tell people about the role that the system can play. And there have been several impact stories also from problems that people have left on the system, and which we've been able to convey to government officials to act upon them. So it's even led to paybacks on several accounts. Some of the challenges that we're now dealing with, that since the amount of content which is actually coming up is growing by leaps and bounds, so we're again taking a more radio-like feel to it. So we're trying to do time slotting over here. So if you, for example, call at 7 in the morning on Mondays, so that's the agriculture hour. So if you call on Tuesdays, that's the health hour. And so this way, it helps bring more people to participate on the platform, and also helps us broaden the base of the content that is being reached out to people. Another challenge really is that ultimately we want this medium to be owned by the people, by the local community. So one of the things we're doing over here is that because we now need to provide more relevant information to people which is local, so we're trying to set up numbers for every separate district. So when you call into that number, you will in priority get to hear content from that particular district. Only then after that you will get to later content. We're also trying to build Android applications which will be handled by our community representatives which we are identifying, and these people will help in moderation of the items which are being published. Because so you should understand that voice is a very hard medium to work with, because in order to moderate content, you've got to listen to the entire voice snippet. So this becomes hard, and it's a very manual effort over here. So we need to bring in more people, more volunteers to help in this moderation. A third thing we are doing is to, so Gramvani, just to give a background on the history, we actually started in 2009 with working on community radio originally, where we built a radio automation platform that's deployed very widely in India and Africa. And we've run very similar IVR-based campaigns on Narega, PBS, and Right to Education over there. So we're trying to connect all of these radio stations and Jharkhand Mobile Radio and other iterations like Jharkhand Mobile Radio into the same platform, so that people can even share information across these different iterations and learn from each other by seeing what other people are doing. So that's all. That's what I wanted to touch upon in these couple of minutes, and we'll take more questions later.